Welcome to this latest edition of Whether or Not. We have your Nature in the News stories on Earth Day fashion and pollution pods. Bree will have this week's forecast, and Brandon has a feature on the future plans of your graduating Whether or Not seniors. Stay right where you are. Whether or Not starts right now. Hello everybody, I'm your host Kristy Steward.
And I'm your forecaster, Bree Guy.
Well Bree, we've had more spring-like weather this past week. Will we be continuing on in this trend this upcoming week?
Well, we'll actually be seeing more of a cooler trend into this upcoming weekend. We'll see a little rain in the forecast, but I'll get more into that later in my weekend forecast.
All right, I look forward to hearing more about that, but first, here's Nature in the News.
The EPA is cracking down on soup pollution in Allegheny County. They recently put out a warning to the state of Pennsylvania and Allegheny County to either act quickly or face sanctions. Pennsylvania is one of the few cities that have failed to submit an updated version of their state implementation plan to fulfill the Clean Air Act requirements in regards to soot. Parts of Allegheny County even experienced 220 days of elevated levels of fine particulate pollution in 2015. There are major health effects that can result from not doing this, including an increased risk for asthma, cancer, heart attacks, respiratory issues, and lung deficiencies in children. The Allegheny County Health Department was supposed to start to fix this problem in late 2016. However, nothing has been submitted thus far. The director of the Allegheny County Health Department states that complexity of the plan required additional time and they plan on finishing it within 18 months. Environmentalists state that it is crucial for implementation of this plan to ensure the health and well-being of Pennsylvanians.
Pollution pods are the newest rage in London. 5 greenhouse-like domes pumped with pollutants for visitors to experience sit near London's Somerset House. Visitors start with the fresh air of Norway, then travel to the heavily polluted cities of London, New Delhi, Beijing, and Sao Paulo. Michael Pinsky, the artist behind this project, got the idea while he was frequently traveling from London to Norway and noticed the air quality differences. To imitate each city's smog, haze, and smell, Pinsky filled each dome with special mixtures representing different amounts of ozone, particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide. Several visitors have been shocked these conditions are the normal for billions of people. Pinsky hopes his project will encourage people to become more environmentally conscious.
As per usual in many places around the country, Earth Day consists of volunteers from different demographics helping to clean up the country one plastic bag at a time. However, the city of Pittsburgh has recently thought of new, creative, and effective ideas to help save the earth. On April 19th, the 3-day annual Earth Day event in the city kicked off with the Ecolution fashion show. The fashion show creatively uses recycled and sustainable materials to create the costumes that are showcased. This year's theme was Forces of Nature. That which we cannot control will move us. Some of the past materials that have been used include bubble wrap, floppy disk, soda can tabs, film strips, coffee filters, paper towel tubes, and much more. The event also includes food performances, and the top 4 scoring designers will receive stipends. The show blends together sustainability and the world of fashion by creating both an educational and fun-filled environment.
America's oldest environmental holiday is this Friday, April 27th. Arbor Day was founded in Nebraska in 1872 to encourage people to plant trees in the largely treeless state. On that first Arbor Day, over 1 million trees were planted. The holiday gained national recognition in 1972. Trees greatly impact our environment. A 1-acre forest absorbs 6 tons of carbon dioxide and emits 4 tons of oxygen, meeting the annual needs for 18 people. Trees lower the air temperature with a net cooling effect of 10 room-sized air conditioning units running 20 hours per day. And if they are strategically placed, they can even reduce your summer AC bill by 35%. Trees also help absorb and filter stormwater. However, thousands of trees suffer annually from natural disasters, diseases, insect infestations, and wildfires. That is why the Arbor Day Foundation says it is important we keep replenishing the population by planting more trees.
Hello everyone, I'm back with your weekend forecast, and unfortunately we'll be taking a slight break from those spring-like conditions that we've been experiencing, going into a much cooler weekend. Starting here on Friday, we have this dying low to the south of us that is still bringing us in a little bit of moisture that will be clipping our area, that will also be bringing us cloudy conditions. This low pressure system will be moving into our area later into the weekend, bringing us a little bit more rain. But I'm happy to say that we won't be experiencing this snow that is going to be happening to the northwest of us too. But as the low moves in, as I said, there is going to be more rain in our area, more rain affecting these more northeastern states, also going up more into New England. However, I do want you guys to take notice on Saturday, there is this high pressure system moving into our area that will be coming in onto Sunday much closer. That will be bringing us much more sunny conditions, however, still on the cooler trend. But just as a recap, we are on Friday going to be having a high of 60, still slightly below average, but still not too shabby, with mostly cloudy conditions. And then on going into Friday night, we're still going to have mostly cloudy conditions with a low of 42. On Saturday, we'll be jumping back up to 57. However, still cooler, but there is going to be a little sun peeking out, and then that sun is here to stay on Sunday with a high of 57. And I'll be back with your extended forecast later, but first, Brandon has a feature on the graduating seniors of Whether or Not.
Well, as we inch closer and closer to the end of the semester, that means that seniors are on their way out of Penn State. And here on the Whether or Not team, we have 4 graduating seniors. So I figured it'd be worthwhile to sit down with each of the seniors to get an idea of what some of their favorite memories of Whether or Not have been, as well as what their future plans are for them after graduation. In case you didn't know who the graduating seniors are, I asked each a little about their background and how long they've been a part of Whether or Not.
This is my second semester now being a part of Whether or Not, so I started in the fall of 2017 and will be wrapping up my time this semester.
I've been a part of Whether or Not since fall of 2017, so this is my second semester right before graduation.
I started Whether or Not last semester, so the fall of 2017, so I've been doing it for 2 semesters.
I've been involved with Whether or Not since August of 2017.
Whether or Not has had an impact on each of our graduating seniors in various ways. And here they tell you how by describing their favorite part of being on the show.
My favorite part about Whether or Not was having a variety of roles each week. So here we got to experience being in front of the camera, also got to experience how to produce the show, got to put feature stories together, and I think learning all of those skills is very important to somebody like me who is going into the broadcasting field.
I would say my favorite part of being on the show has just been working together with great people, and we've had a lot of fun doing the show, and I think that I'll remember the friendships that have been made on the show, and I hope to continue those as after graduation.
My favorite part has been the way that Whether or Not has prepared me for my future career. So I want to go into broadcasting, and I've had a couple internships over the past 2 summers, and I noticed that my internships, especially the one that I had last summer at KTTC, I was doing some reporting stuff, which is typical to do in your first broadcasting job, and I was totally lost with what to do. Coming here and having a full year to work on that, it's really helped me hone in those reporting skills.
My favorite part of being on Whether or Not has just been spending Wednesday night with people who I deeply respect and those who have the same passion as me. It's like we're all working together towards a common goal.
While all of these seniors will be graduating with a degree in meteorology, their post-graduation plans are all very unique.
So after graduation, I plan on going into the broadcasting industry. So right now the plan is a TV job after I graduate, but at the same time I also haven't completely ruled out graduate school at some point down the road.
I'm not sure exactly what I want to do after graduation, but I'm considering broadcast as an option, but I think that whatever I end up doing, I'm excited for what is ahead, and I might continue a company that I started with a couple of my friends here at Penn State. We're predicting frost, and we've worked with a lot of people here at Penn State and gotten some news articles written about us, so I think that that is something that I want to continue as I go forward here these next several months, and obviously I'm looking for a job elsewhere too, so not really sure yet, but I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, so I want to go into broadcasting, and I prefer to go in the southern half of the United States. I'm a little bit tired of the cold and snow here. 4 years is enough for me to want to take a break from that for a little bit at least. And yeah, I actually have an interview lined up right after graduation in North Carolina at a news station there, so hopefully that works out. We'll have to stay tuned.
My plans after graduation are just work for a couple of years and then go back somewhere down the road and get a master's and eventually go into teaching. I've found over the last year or so, I've found the itch to want to teach others about math and science and the world around them. So, and besides, the world could always use a few more teachers. I'm debating on whether or not I should teach high school or community college. I know each has their own different little perks and quirks along the way, but I think the end goal is pretty much the same either way, just to teach the next generation of thinkers and learners and world changers that, hey, there's a world around you and it's really great. You ought to learn about it.
While it sure is sad to see the seniors go, the rest of the Whether or Not team wishes them the best of luck as they head out into the next adventure of their lives. And while some of the seniors may be a little bit sad that they're leaving Penn State, I'm confident and sure that they are more than ready to get on with the next chapter of their lives. For Whether or Not, I'm Brandon Sawyer.
Hello everyone, I'm back with your extended forecast, and I'm very excited to announce that we will be having a much warmer week next week. But first, going into a weekend recap, we will be having a much chillier weekend with slightly below average temperatures. On Friday, we're going to have a high of 60, dropping to a low of 42. We're going to have mostly cloudy condition that's going to be coming with the rain that's going to be happening this weekend. However, not to worry, folks, it should be light and should be moving out by Saturday evening. On Saturday, we have a high of 57 and a low of 34. And the sun starts to peek out just a little bit. And then on Sunday, we can see it. We're going to have sunny conditions with a high of 55 and a low of 34. And I'm very excited to announce that that sun is here to stay for most of the week. And with that, temperatures are going to be on the rise, starting with high 60s, going all the way up to almost a high of 77 on Wednesday. However, later on in the week, we do see some clouds, but don't let that fool you. We will be seeing some showers. However, temperatures will not be dropping much lower than the average, and which is going to result in a much more enjoyable weekend for you guys.
Well, I look forward to that warm-up toward the end of next week.
Yes, me too, Kristy. Unfortunately, we just have to get through this chilly weekend first, though.
And speaking of chillier conditions, earlier in the show, we asked you, on average, when is the last freeze date in State College? Is it A, April 11th, B, April 21st, C, May 1st, or D, May 11th? If you said C, May 1st, you are correct. The last freeze signals the start of the growing season, but different parts of Pennsylvania experience different first and last freeze dates.
Yes, and towards the southeast, the growing season usually goes from early April to early November. But in the north, the last freeze usually occurs in late May, with the first freeze coming around October 1st.
So it seems we are not in the clear of freezes yet.
Yes, unfortunately. But speaking of in the clear, graduation is approaching and you are a senior. And unfortunately, though, that's a sad, like you're leaving the show. But are you excited for the future?
Yeah, it is sad. I've learned so much being on this show, but I am very excited to see what the future has in store for me.
Yes, and we are very excited to see what it has in store for you too, Kristy.
Thank you. Well, that's all the time that we have for this episode of Whether or Not. I've been your host, Kristy Steward.
And I'm your forecaster, Bree Guy.
Have a great evening, everybody.